Hey PoE homies, J-War here with another video. So today we're going to talk about how I made my first 100 Divines in Lake of Kalandra League. So, couple things to go over first. I'm playing an accuracy stacking Juggernaut. Now this is a really good character for speed mapping. It's a lightning strike character, so it's got some nice single target damage as well with the double hit and the ball lightning strike and all the totems and everything you can throw down to get huge single target damage. So, really nice character. I'm having a really good time with that. There's obviously some things going on with the league that aren't as favorable, but we're not going to talk about that too much in this video. I might make a little note on it at the end. Alright, so to get in the farming strategies, what have I been doing? So, I've been doing basically the 2 or 3 pillars of my farming strategy are Expedition, Essence, a little bit of Strongbox as well, but that's not one of the 3 pillars I want to talk about. The other one is going to be altar farming, right? So altars, expedition, and essences. Now, this being said, I'm looking to move away from maybe essences. The reason why is some other content creators have come out with some videos, and it's getting kind of flooded. The market's getting a little flooded, it seems. It's harder to sell some of the essences. I think they're still good. So if you don't really feel like respecking and you want to do essences, go ahead and do them. It's probably not bad anymore. It's probably not really bad. It's just, you know, it's not as profitable as it has been in the past, I don't know, week or so of the league. So what else do we have here? I've got Stream of Consciousness. Now, I've been Alch and Go mapping. I've been hardly using any Scarabs at all. I did a little bit of Legion farming with some Scarabs, but personally, I didn't find it all that rewarding. I know a lot of other people have success with it. I think I just got a little bit unlucky. And I did notice, we'll just take a look at something here. Over the past couple days, the price of emblems has come down to about 45C for Mariketh, meaning the full sets, if you sell them, which is usually where you make a lot of your money from Legion, aren't even going to get you half a Divine Orb for a full set of emblems, so that's really not that great. So I don't think Legion is amazing right now. I know a lot of people have gotten like a lot of raw Divine drops. I didn't when I tried it, so I kind of gave up on it. It's pretty good though. It's pretty good. I think Expedition is definitely better, especially if you know how to do ROG crafting. I've made a pretty good amount of currency from ROG crafting as well. Not an amazing amount, but you know, nice little chunk. I've made 2-3 divines here and there using ROG crafting at a time. Probably done that like maybe 5 times. A lot of maybe 1 divine items, 100C items, that kind of thing from ROG crafting, in addition to using Tujin haggling. I've been selling my reroll currencies from Gwenin and Danig and using ROG and Tujin basically, and then what I do is I take my Danig currencies, and because ROG is usually more expensive as far as the artifacts, I reroll my Danig currency into ROG currency and use that to craft more items. So that's kind of my general expedition strategy that I've been using. Other things to go over, I'll just highlight a couple of the other pretty good strategies that I've talked about. Oh, and there's one thing I want to mention, but I think we'll go over a couple of the other pretty good currency strats right now as far as what you can spec into on the Atlas as far as league mechanics. So, I think Breach is pretty okay right now. There were kind of some nerfs to Harvest, which are affecting Breach Stones. You can't re-roll them to different types of Breach Stones or different types of Splinters anymore. So when you do get those raw Chayula drops on Breach Stones, you can make a lot of currency that way. They're worth a lot more this league. Other things that are pretty good, let's see, Metamorph is okay for hunting rares, but I wouldn't really recommend Metamorph. Blight is looking pretty good because of the tile reward types that have been talked about lately, and that all the chests you open are going to have all the same rewards you would normally have, despite all the changes that have been made this league. So Blight is still going to be kind of the same as it always has been, right? So that's pretty good. Boss farming is definitely really good. I'm more into mapping right now, so I haven't tested out a lot of boss farming or anything. Alright, and to get into the next little success story I wanted to talk about, I had a guy from Discord talk to me, and he said, "Hey man, I just wanted to thank you for giving me the farming strategy that I made 80 divines in 3 days doing this farming strategy. Just bought a headhunter. I'm having a great time this league." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. What exactly have you been doing?" You know, because I'm kind of testing out a lot of stuff myself, trying to see what's the best. And it was funny because he actually did the strategy that I was proposing to do early on in the league. Kind of before patch notes came out and everything. We saw all the Harvest nerfs and people tried out Harvest and it was really not that great, but he went with Harvest actually. He took the Harvest notes and he was farming Harvest as well as Expedition and I think Altars and maybe maybe one other mechanic, maybe like a little strongbox or something. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly what his advertisement tree was. But the most surprising thing to me about it was he was farming harvest and making really good money doing it. So that's something else that I've been thinking about getting into that looks like a pretty good strategy. But as I said, right now, just to reiterate one more time, because we're talking about what I had been doing this video to make money, I've been doing basically just Expedition, Essence, and Altars with a little bit of Strongbox. I tried Legion instead of Strongbox, that was okay. I also tried Breach for a little bit, didn't like Breach too much, it was okay as well. And yeah, these are basically the 3 pillars I've been doing. But yeah, I'm looking to maybe take out Essence and go into Harvest next, because the price on Essences are going to be coming down, I believe, with a lot more people doing them. And a lot of people are kind of sleeping on Harvest right now. So I'm thinking about doing Harvest, actually. Alright, and just to talk a little bit more about how I've made the currency I've made, you might notice here as we go through, you might see my stash tab, you might see like, oh, this guy doesn't have 100 divines or whatever, but I've been buying Mirror of Kalandra cards. So I'm 5/9 of the way to my first Mirror of Kalandra, which if you add up how much they cost and a lot of other things that I'm kind of holding on to, haven't liquidated yet, yeah, I'm well over 100 divines in raw currency, in addition to all the upgrades I've made on my character and everything else, right? So definitely made probably 120, 130, maybe even up to 150 divines so far this league. So it is definitely harder to farm currency though, and I'm doing much more of a grind. I haven't been taking advantage of any of the Solaris touched MF caller strats, but that's a topic for another video I'll get into, which I do plan to make a video about that soon and kind of outline how dumb it is to have that in the game. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. Another thing I'll say is with the essence farming I've been having a harder time finding bulk buyers on TFT, which is normally a way in the past I've shown some of you guys to go about selling your essences, right? So I'm just individually selling them out of my stash tab because I find they sell faster that way. I had to sell them, if I sell them in bulk, they go for really, really low prices, and it seems to just be better to sell them one at a time out of your stash tab. Just right click, you know, make your tab public, put individual prices on each type of essence. So that's what you want to do for that. Some other things, we can talk about ROG crafting for a minute. This is another thing I've been doing to make currency, and this is definitely something you want to do if you're farming Expedition. The ROG currency rerolls don't go for a whole lot. The logbooks do, but the scrap metals don't really go for a whole lot. I think they're just 1C each, so I wouldn't really sell those. I would use those at ROG. And you can oftentimes craft some items that are going to be worth maybe a divine or two, maybe even more of that. You get some really nice items crafting with ROG and sell those for currency too. I've done a good amount of that. So alright, I think that just about covers everything I wanted to go over in my video for how I've made, you know, about 100 divines so far, maybe a little bit more. And we'll get into some more videos pretty soon. I want to make a guide on my accuracy stacker and my kind of variation of it. I know it's not like a new build by any means, but I've done some cool things with it. I'm still planning on doing some cool things with it that I haven't really seen many other people do. And I'll give an outline of kind of how I set it up, how you go about starting it, and the most important upgrades to get early on, and what you do with accuracy stacking Juggernaut, as I think it's a really good speed mapping build, especially in this league. And I'll talk about more of that in another video, and I'll have another video coming out maybe in the next day or so, as soon as I find a Solaris touched mob to do a nice example of why I think this mechanic is really broken and really should not be in the game. So I'll have a couple of videos coming up on those two things, so watch out for those, and thanks for watching.